So this video is about discipline, but more specifically about saying no. When we think of saying no, we think of saying no to other people. Another level of having boundaries, another aspect of having boundaries is having boundaries with yourself. Boundaries in essence are rules that you keep for yourself. And when you're able to say no to yourself, you're keeping a boundary with yourself. Boundaries are not just for other people to respect, but it's for you to respect as well. I mentioned in the previous video about the power of saying no and how that is one of the greatest powers we have as human beings, because it is an expression of our freedom. We have the free will to say no, and that is a power. That is our freedom in action. Everyone struggles with saying no to themselves. We're fighting between our desires and our higher self. Our lower selves wants to do things that will make us happy in the moment, but will cause us suffering later on. And our higher self will call us to avoid doing what makes us happy in the moment and to think about the future. So we always need to think about our future self. What our future self needs at this moment is in contradiction to what our lower self and our desires want. So we're always in that fight within ourselves. And so it's necessary that we're able to say no to ourselves. It's necessary that we develop a boundary for ourselves. We've talked about submission and how submission isn't a good quality to have. To a degree, yes, we need it, but overall, we shouldn't be submissive. We should be able to resist. And so, just like we shouldn't be submissive to other people, we shouldn't be submissive to our lower self and to our desires. That makes us a slave to our desires. Freedom, we think of it as something where freedom is doing whatever we want to do, doing whatever we feel like. But that isn't the true expression of freedom. The true expression of freedom is being able to say no and to resist. And if you're able to resist your self-destruction, what can be greater and more powerful than that? When we're saying no to other people, when we're trying to maintain boundaries with other people, we're refusing other people hurting us and causing us destruction. When we're saying no to our desires, we're also refusing destruction, but self-destruction. We're refusing destruction by our own hands. That is a real demonstration of self-love. Self-love has become known to be synonymous with skincare and me time and downtime and spending time with yourself. But that isn't the real true essence of self-love. Self-love is saying no to self-destruction and to other people. Not only, self-love isn't just saying no to self-destruction, it's destruction overall. It's saying no to any kind of destruction, whether that destruction comes from yourself or other people. That is really loving yourself. That is really honoring yourself and your body and your mind. If you can resist your impulses, you become a servant. You become a slave to it. And what is the difference between an animal and a human being who just follows their impulses and their urges? There is very little difference between an animal who just obeys his impulses, his animalistic desires. Human beings have desire and they have consciousness. They have a call from their lower self and they have a call from their conscience. And we've confused our lower self to represent our true authentic version of ourselves, but that is not the truth. Our true authentic self doesn't represent our desires. That just represents our human self and our base desires, because human beings are also animals too, and we have animalistic desires. But hedonism is not freedom, and hedonism is not your authentic self. So we shouldn't really confuse that, because we live in a culture where we've confused this idea that our true self is whatever our desires tell us we should do. Our desires cause us to self-destruct. And especially when you've been hurt, what you tend to do is hurt yourself more. You take that, you start to punish your own body. But that isn't your authentic self. That is you running on disorder and chaos. It's not you behaving from your normal baseline. It's you behaving from a traumatized, chaotic self. So saying no is one of the most important things that we can develop. And we need to first shift that mindset that we have about saying no and what that represents. Saying no is protection. Saying no is preservation. Saying no is safety, protecting yourself, making sure that you're safe from yourself and from other people. We need to start creating this environment of safety. And when we're able to keep ourselves safe, we're able to keep ourselves safe from other people as well, because we honor ourselves at a foundational level. This is not to be confused with, okay, so you're never going to experience anyone disrespecting you, anyone hurting you. No, you will come across those people. But then that is where boundaries come in. It's not to say you can have a perfect life and no one's ever going to disrespect you or hurt you. No, people will try to, but you're going to have to fight that. You're going to have to fight with them. That is an invitation for resistance. And one thing that we all suffer from is not resisting ourselves, not saying no to ourselves. The more rules you have, the more peace and happiness and joy you create for yourself. The less rules you create for yourself, the more misery you're going to be. That's just the basic outcome of it all. So I hope that helps you to understand and helps you to start creating rules for yourself and develop this discipline over your life.